So what exactly are transients? Let's get into that. So transients are not the guys you see walking on the side of the highway with all their belongings on their backs, moving from one town to another. Transients are short surges, quick bursts, if you will, of energy that are induced on communication, data, and power lines. Now, typically, they're extremely high voltages that have the potential to push large amounts of current through an electrical circuit for up to a few thousandths of a second. Now, that might not sound like a long time to you, but if you're on the receiving end of that, I'll bet it would seem like a lifetime. So transients are unavoidable, and most don't do any damage. However, combining high voltage spikes and high current can be extremely dangerous. So where do transients come from? Now, lightning always comes to mind as the main transient cause. However, there are a lot of other devices that can induce transients onto a circuit, many of which are internal to a facility. Now, these devices range from copiers, coffee makers, vacuum cleaners, VFDs, motor switching, and ballast, just to name a few. It's estimated that 80% of transient activity at a given facility is internally generated, and transient activity is believed to account for 80% of all electrically related downtime. It's also interesting to note that lightning accounts for at least 5% of insurance claims and costs an average of $13,000 per occurrence. Now, there are two types of transients, oscillatory and impulse. The most common transient is the oscillatory transient. This type of transient likes to swing above and below the normal line voltage. Now, an impulse, however, is more like a one-shot type of event. It's pretty much characterized by having more than 77% of its energy being one pulse above line voltage. A lightning strike can be composed of multiple transients of this type. So what happens when a transient gets into a power system? Now, electronic devices may operate erratically or at decreased efficiencies. Motors will run at higher temperatures and normal timing can be interrupted, producing vibration and noise. And lighting systems will fail early as well. One of the most common indicators of the transient activity is the premature appearance of black rings at the end of fluorescent tubes. Now, transients also affect the contacting surfaces of switches, disconnects, and can cause nuisance tripping of circuit breakers. Transformers are also forced to operate inefficiently and can run hotter than normal as well. So this can all be prevented by installing an appropriately sized SPD, or surge protective device. These are the items formerly known as a TVSS, or transient voltage surge suppressor. Now, installing the proper SPD is the most cost-effective means of improving your client's power quality, doubling or tripling the life of their electrical and electronic equipment, and helping their bulbs last 4 to 6 times longer. So thanks for liking, commenting, and subscribing to this video. Make sure and share this with a colleague that could use some new information or a refresher, and I'll see you next time. But until then, stay grounded.